Hi everyone. Okay, now we're ready to do the scallop for our grassy edge, or our grassy area. The top edge, and then it down about in the middle, it has another scallop. Maggie, in her instructions, tells you to tear a 1-inch wide strip of wool. Total length, you'll need about 52 inches, but she recommends that you work in smaller strips. Mine is about 16 inches. You tear the 1-inch by 16-inch strip, and then you cut in until there's about a 1/4 of an inch holding them all to get all the petals together. The petals, she says to just cut them different widths. Mine are anywhere from 3/4 of an inch to an inch. And then once you get all of your petals clipped and you have this 1/4 inch down here holding them all together, you go back and you're going to cut curves on each one. Some of them you do lower, shorter, higher, so that they're all different widths and heights. You just go along like that. I hope you can see this. You never know what you can and can't see. It's, you know, there's no right or wrong here. So you just keep cutting until you get them all done. Once you get a strand, a strip of these done, you're going to stitch them. You're going to start stitching them to the top edge of your grassy area. You're going to put the edge of the scallops behind the top edge of the grass, about 1/4 of an inch down. Now, you can leave them flat like this, or you can do what I did. I gathered them. I like a little movement in mine. So to gather them, I took my strip, once I got it all done, down along the straight edge, I knotted my thread. And then I stitched, hand stitched a gather stitch all along the bottom of this edge, the straight edge. When I got to this end, I pulled and gathered to where I liked it. It's just wonky enough for me. And then I knotted this end. Took a stitch and knotted this end, so it stays gathered. Once gathered, I take it and I pin it behind the top edge of my grassy area. I pin every petal. It gives me more control. But see how it's just a little bit wonky? Gives a little bit of movement to the scallop. You can do it either way, whatever you want to do, but I gather mine. Once I get one sewn on, I go tear another strip, gather it, and you just keep going until the entire top edge of your grass is stitched. Now remember, I stitch mine separate from the backing, from the background fabric first, because I want to work with something that weighs this much, not something that weighs this much. So I'm going to do as much work as I can with small pieces. Once I get this all done, and I do my other strip here in the center, once I get that done, then I take this and I put it on here. This piece is smaller, so, but then I put it on here. I stitch the sides all along the bottom and this other side, but I don't stitch the top part yet, because you have to put your little birdie's feet go back here, your stems to your flowers go back behind. Okay, so once you get everything pinned in place, then the very last thing that I did prior to putting my backing on, the very last thing that I did was I stitched this top edge down to my background fabric. But see how when you're doing these scallops, how much easier it is if you're working with a small bit of fabric in your hands, opposed to flip-flopping this thing around. I think the scallops make the piece. This is, when I see a piece like this, I think the first time I ever saw scallops used in this way, it was Maggie's piece. I can pick out a Maggie design anywhere. She just has a look about, you know, her designs. They just have a look, a certain look that I love. And, you know, if it's on Pinterest or somewhere and you, it doesn't have the designer's name on it, but it's one of Maggie's pieces, I can tell. And that speaks volumes for the designer, that they have a look that people recognize them by. That's very, that's quite a compliment, I think, for a designer, that people can recognize their aesthetic, you know. And Maggie's one of those people. I like her work and the way that she designs. I think, and I know that a lot of you do. Anyway, that's kind of the scallop, real short and sweet. It is not difficult. It may look intimidating. It's not. And there's a couple different ways that you can do it. And once you get that part done, that's a lot of work, you know, that you'll have, you know, done and you can feel good about. So I need to press mine. They're a little bit wonky. Okay, the next video will be on the flower heads. I'm still having difficulty getting these videos out on Facebook. It just takes my computer a long time to load them, and then Tanya grabs them and sticks them out on Facebook. But it's just the time that the system is taking to load them that I'm having issues with. So, I will work as quickly as I can, and as soon as I have the flower head video out, ready, I'll get it out there. But it's, you know, they're just going to stream along. I'm just going to keep putting them out there as I get them done. So anyway, good luck with your scallop on your grassy area.